Hey guys, it's Wraith from Team SOTRF, and today I'm here with Token to talk about airsoft revolvers, specifically ASG's new airsoft revolvers. But before we get there, I want to talk about this guy right here. So this is a little 2-inch barrel wind gun revolver. So this is actually an older revolver. I think I've had this for about 4 years now. This gun, first of all, is fantastic. You take this off, pull it back, CO2 cartridge that it runs off of. The one problem with this gun is when it came out and when I got it, and it had these shells in it with the brown tops.
Yeah.
It shot 400 feet per second right out of the box.
So you couldn't use it anywhere?
No. This was basically just a Brock Lex revolver, so he bought a revolver. ASG actually just recently made available these shells. I don't know if you guys are aware of them. A lot of people I talk to on the fields haven't heard of them before, but as soon as they do, they think they're super awesome. They're called low-powered shells.
Yeah.
They have a yellow top instead of a brown top, so you don't mix them up in your gear. They take this gun, which is shooting about 400, and make it shoot around 300.
Yep.
So it takes about 100 feet per second off. Yep. So I am sacrificing a lot of range and, actually velocity to do that, but it allows me to use it in CQB environments, which is what I like doing, especially with this short barrel one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've used this gun for a long time. I've dropped it. I have a really nice Kydex holster that some friends made me. Shout out to Brooklyn Tactical. They don't exist anymore, but they were awesome and made me this really custom Kydex revolver holster. One problem that you're going to have if you want to use a revolver in airsoft is that there aren't a lot of combat holsters made for it. Because not a lot of people use combat revolvers. Some people use them in like 3-gun competitions, competition shooting of course. But this custom holster was a really great way for me to have something that I can mount onto Molly or onto my belt. But as I was saying about this thing, I've dropped this thing in a puddle during a game that was full of mud and water. I picked it up, pulled back the hammer, pulled the trigger, it shot. There was some water that came out, but it shot. And I think that's one of the reasons that you would get something like this, is it's very reliable.
Yeah, it is.
And also pretty low cost. I think when I bought this, it was about 80 bucks. When we move on, we're going to get to a little bit more pricey revolvers, but this is an old revolver, and this is just kind of the prototype for what's about to come, which is what Chris is holding in his hand right now.
Yeah.
So this is Dan Wesson's 4-inch. It actually has a wind gun grip on it because you lost the grip, and we had to replace it with an old revolver.
Yeah, basically what happened is if you couldn't have a Kydex holster, what I was unfortunately had to do is just a drop leg soft shell holster, and I was running around, and I lost it.
That's another reason I run one of these elastic bands, so that the CO2 part doesn't come off.
So basically,
we didn't know about that at that point, but
basically this part right here,
it's a little flimsy,
was completely gone, and thank God the guys at the place that we were at, they were doing an awesome job, and they found the
the refs found it for you, didn't they?
They found it pretty fast actually.
Yeah.
But they found it without the grip, and I was like, oh no, my grip. But
basically, it's the exact same revolver as this one right here, but it's tuned out a lot, and it's a lot more well finished. First of all, better quality metal right away. You can feel that. Not only is it the chrome finish, which a lot of people prefer, but it is a better machined metal too. You can feel that, 1 in the trigger and 2 in the cylinder. It's a lot smoother, a lot less jerky than this is. This thing, price tag wise, coming in around 120 to 130.
120-ish.
And that's the 4-inch version. The longer barrel versions get a little bit more expensive, but right now ASG is selling these with the low-powered shells right out of the box.
Yep.
I think there is an option to get a high-powered shells too. Both of these revolvers are single or double action revolvers, which means basically either you can pull the hammer back and you can see that trigger sets back. That's your single action trigger pull, so it's a lot less than actually doing the double, and the double is actually physically pulling the hammer back with the trigger. And the double's not that bad, honestly, but if you want to be more accurate when you're shooting, single action is probably the way to go. It's cool that it can do both though, because a lot of times, especially with the quick Kydex holster, you reaction shoot or you're out of ammo and you need the gun quick, you can just pull it, and instead of pulling the hammer back, just mash on the trigger. It is going to be a little less accurate just because you've got to put a little bit more force into the trigger, but other than that. So this is basically an updated version of this. Very good, same kind of performance, same kind of reliability. That is ASG's Dan Wesson series revolver. And then recently, I just got the Dan Wesson 715. Now this is unlike any of these other guns.
Yep.
It's a completely new design.
They switched up everything on it, man.
And the cool thing about this gun that I really like is they released it at SHOT Show at the exact same time they released the real one. So it is a true 1-to-1. It's got all the same specs. Really nice labeling. Dan Wesson there. It's modeled after the 357 Dan Wesson 715.
Yep.
It's got a Hogue style big grip, which I love, and also the really cool part about that is it is CO2. It takes CO2 just like the other ones. You pry this grip off right here. You can see where the CO2 goes. And then this part of the grip, if you flip this up, is actually a wrench, so you can undo and engage your CO2, which is awesome. I don't know why anybody's never thought of that before, because I mean, having to carry an Allen wrench on you is kind of
Exactly.
moving on, the metal in this gun is incredible. I don't know if it's the same as the real one, but it sure feels like it. Everybody who I hand this gun is like, woo.
And it has a really sexy finish on it.
It has a nice chrome finish on it, which is nice. It comes in this chrome finish, or it comes in like a black metallic finish. I chose the chrome because flashy. Amazing cylinder. I mean, just great machining. All throughout the gun. And one of the reasons I think that your gun and my gun are so well machined is because Dan Wesson of Smith & Wesson kind of taught the people in airsoft how to make good revolvers, what was important, where the stress points were, what to enhance and make better. And this gun with the high-powered shell shoots 400 feet per second, more like 450. The low-powered shells make it shoot right around 300. Again, it does have an adjustable hop-up, which is really cool. No other revolvers had that before that I'm aware of, so this is the only revolver, CO2 at least, that has an adjustable hop-up. So you can use different weight BBs in it. I've just been using the .2s because, like I said, I'm using the low-powered shells. So it's basically just for CQP. I love using this gun for Trouble in Terrorist Town or for more LARP rating events because it looks awesome.
Yeah, dude.
And I love revolvers. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about right here. This button is actually your cylinder. The safety is actually located right here on the back of the gun. I don't know if you can see that. I'm pointing this gun at myself. But it is just a small button right underneath the hammer, which blocks the hammer from going back, which is super simple and awesome. Great placement, in my opinion.
At its best.
And then, so they didn't have to have the safety on this side, they kind of moved the cylinder back and then put the cylinder release right here. And it's very smooth, again, very well machined. You just push down, comes right out, and then every time.
Yep.
Every time you do that, it's good.
So
This puts a little stress on your gun, but it's so much fun, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Once again, you also have single and the double action pull. A little bit old school, got a nice leather belt holster. This can be converted to a cowboy shooting if I want to eventually. But overall, I just want to say airsoft revolvers are really cool, but if you want to use one, you have to acknowledge its weaknesses.
Yep.
It has some strengths, but its weaknesses are what I want to talk about first. Round count sucks. You have 6 rounds.
Terrible.
That compared to basically anything is terrible.
But it completely switched up your gameplay, though. You have to really take your time and make your shots count.
And that's kind of what a weakness and a strength is. If you want to do super uber immersion realism, revolver is one way to do that because you're literally loading every shot just like you would a real one. I mean, practicing with these speed loaders on these airsoft guns is just like doing a speed loader on a real 357.
I still can't do it.
It's a little bit different. These things are a little finicky. I have 5 of them, and I use them, but they're a little sticky. But still, the realism factor, very cool. And if you're like one of those people who's really into immersion or realism, really cool way to do that.
My immersions.
But
shout out to Leo.
The other thing that we want to talk about is, power or range, if you will.
Yeah.
These are both with the low-powered shells, only shooting 300. Now, this one does have a hop-up. You could make it shoot a little further. Basically, anything other than a CQB environment, these things are going to be useless. This one especially because it's so big and so heavy that if you're running around real fast, it's going to flop around unless you secure it down. This one is a little bit better, but again, it's 2-inch barrel. It's for CQB environments.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that you need to realize if you want to run an airsoft revolver is it's cool.
Yep.
You're gonna have to pay a lot of money for shells.
Yep.
6 shells for ASG. If you just buy them 6 by themselves, it's about $19. And it's another $19 for the speed loader.
Yep.
You can buy boxes or a little bit more of the shells if you look online. So just know that you're gonna have to pay a lot for that. But you know, there is the cool factor, and I've always been a big revolver fan myself. That's why I got them, and I like using them, and I also like you said, challenging myself. So, I mean, you'd have to think about that when you're gameplay, and I think that's cool, and I like it, and I enjoy doing it. Now, it's not for everybody. Like, I can carry my CZ with 2 mags, and that's 75 rounds. Like, this probably isn't even 75 revolver rounds. So, I mean,
probably what, 35?
The weight of carrying all these shells too, and because you're holding them in speed loaders or loose, you're gonna have to figure out somewhere to put them. And the weight is substantial, and actually carrying them is a little weird.
And you only, I was just about to say, you only can carry so much before it actually really mess with your kit. So
yeah, so I would say these guns are awesome. They're super reliable and they're fun. CQB rated perfect.
Oh yeah,
but. You know, if you're going to be playing for a long game or an outdoor game, probably wouldn't recommend going with a revolver. You're better off doing something like a 1911 or the CZ75, also by ASG.
CZ?
I just want to say, to kind of end the video, that this is what Wind Gun started with back, you know, a couple years ago. ASG continually upgraded it and made it better.
Yep.
And I just want to give a huge shout out to ASG for doing an amazing job on all these revolvers.
Fantastic.
You guys make a lot of other guns that we really love too, but I really appreciate the research and the time that you guys took to make these revolvers special. So thank you for that. And anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Revolvers are awesome. Get it. If you want the challenge, get it. Honestly. But yeah, that's about it. If you want to talk to us, comment below. You know, always check out our Facebook, facebook.com/SotrfAirsoft. We also have an Instagram, whatever you want to call it. Same ordeal, SotrfAirsoft. But yeah, this is Token and Wraith signing out.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Dose.
I'm gonna go play with this.